Hello and welcome to a new series I'm going to start doing, and it is Nomoria. If you've never heard of it, it is basically, well, if you've heard of Dwarf Fortress, it's like Dwarf Fortress, but with gnomes and a little bit different perspective, and with pretty pictures. And then, um, if you've never heard of either of those, it's basically you manage five gnomes as they start their own kingdom, and as they grow, they'll get more gnomes to show up, and then that allows you to have to task with more jobs like gathering resources, producing said resources into crafts or materials to be able to produce better and more things. And then you have to manage their food, their thirst, their health, their sleep, and then you have to worry about enemies, both from underground and above ground. But as we get hopefully delve into this more, that'll become more apparent. But it's a really simple, fun game that gets very, very technical as you get going deeper into it, because it's based off the main purpose of everything is your worth. When you put something down, it'll have a worth. When you build something, make something, gather something, it has a little bit of a worth. So in order to get more gnomes, you have to be more of a worthy kingdom. But as you become more worthy, the enemies become tougher. So it's not, yeah, I got this really cool sword, now I can kill anything. Except anything that comes is even bigger than it was before. It gets crazy sometimes. So let's do this. We're going to start a new game. This is alpha, by the way. This has been alpha for a while, but the guy's always producing stuff. I think it's a dude. I can't remember his name. Hobo something. I apologize for not having that on hand, but it's 0.9.17. And he's always adding some cool stuff. Like, yeah, prosthetic limbs, because in combat, you can lose limbs. Yes, that is something that happens in this game. Quite often sometimes. So, we can randomize our name, we can do standard size. I'm just going to go to the advanced options. Let's pick a name. Well, let's not pick a name because I might change this. So we go to standard, that's the kingdom size. Basically, it's not quite an open world like Minecraft, but it is in the sense that you can start out with different sizes of terrain to explore and build on. That's what basically that background is what you would look like, but that's like tiny. So we're gonna go with huge because I like options. So if I don't like a certain area, I can build someplace else, or I can play around with areas, you know. Options, I love options. But it's like Minecraft where you get seeds, so if you like a world, then you keep the seed and you can reload it again, try a different position. This is your where you start in the world. You can change the options. So you can make it a little flatter, you can make it wider hills. I'm gonna mess with these because I'm kind of picky on what I do. And then we have your enemies. So if you don't like a certain enemy or you want to take it easier, you can change them. There's a list if you want to go through them. There's tons of troops. And then we have difficulty. This I'm gonna say normal. The only things I like to change besides the terrain, I'm gonna change this. Metal depth is ore. It's like Minecraft where the deeper you go, the more likely you are to find certain metals that you can't find at certain above levels, like iron. It's very deep. You have to go very deep to get it. So I'm going to change that to a little shallower, just so we don't have to dig so much, just to kind of speed it up. And same with the metal amount. I don't like to dig just over and over again. So we're going to change that to abundant, because it's like they come in veins. Sometimes the veins can be quite small. Sometimes they could be quite large. So I only basically mine when I need something. So I'm not going to just mine, and have like tons and tons of metal, because that's just a little overkill. And then we're going to leave all these the same. And then I'm going to generate a world and randomize a name, because I'm horrible with names. And I will see you in a minute. And here is our kingdom. We are the subordinate donkeys. Yes, it was donkey, but I like the S on the end. It adds a little something. And here is our gnomes. We started out with quite a few people, and they all have jobs, and they all have some baggage. They got food, they got some drink. We got 2 yaks, a male and a female, because we can breed them to get more yaks. It's just like Minecraft. It's just a little bit longer. It takes 12 days for the female to actually give birth. But unlike Minecraft, it's huge. It's like you giving birth to an adult yak. It's a poor female yak. It just, just get it out of me. And so, but it does take 12 days. Speaking of which, there is time. There's days, there's night and day, there's seasons, no months, just seasons. We have spring, summer, fall, and winter. Um, Most of them, there's not much difference really, but winter. Winter is the only month nothing grows. So say we have, for instance, we got strawberries here. We can grow our own strawberries, and say they're like not completely grown, then they'll pause, and then basically they'll resume growing when spring hits. So they won't like die off. It's kind of nice that way. But you have to be careful because if you run out of food, your gnomes will start dying. And if you run out of food for your yaks, which is mainly straw from wheat, they will leave you. They just don't care. They're like, you have no food for me? What is this? I'm gone. See you guys. So you gotta be careful about that. Otherwise, it's pretty fun. They're pretty easy to handle. Now, this is our map. You can scroll up and down. I'm gonna comment like this is like beginning, like you've never seen this before. But if you guys have seen this before, let me know so I can maybe like, cut out some of that stuff. And if I miss something, I'll probably mention it in another video, but feel free to ask. I'm not a pro at this game, but I do know some stuff. So now I'm just scouting out for an area to actually build. I like flat area because you need it for the animals and for your crops, but I don't like too flat for building. Well, I say building, but I mean digging in. Ooh, I like this. I like this a lot, actually. Yeah. I usually like to dig in because it's a lot easier to dig out terrain to build your rooms and stuff than it is actually building walls, because it's very much of a hassle. When you start building walls, then it becomes all about elevation, which is you can go very high and then it gets very deep, so it's easier to dig underground and build your fortress and whatnot, and actually on overworld. But the only thing that I build out here is maybe a gatehouse, some walls. I don't get too fancy. I've seen people build actual villages outside, but that's a lot of work. I'm too lazy. That's why I chose a flat area, because I don't want to terraform all this. Let's check this corner. No, too much water. Yeah, I like this area. So first things first, we got our gnomes. They all have jobs. We have, where are they? 2 builders, 2 farmers, 2 miners, a rancher, a woodcutters. So just as you would assume their titles is what their jobs are, but we can customize these. We can create our own. It's very cool. But as you hover over these, you'll notice that because he's a woodcutter, he has 25 woodcutting skill. That's pretty good. That's basically because they already have these higher skills. That's their job set. The better the skill, the faster they do said jobs. So that's a key thing to look at. When you get new gnomes, I like to prioritize basically what he has. Otherwise, you have to build them up, the skills from scratch, and it could take a while. So there we go. We're going to go over here. We're going to dig into here. And we're going to build crops, clear some of these trees out, reorganize them. Lots of destruction. Okay, so let's see. We don't need to build anything. First things first, we need to clear off around the terrain. So let's dig that first. Remove floor. Basically, this is our terrain. This is our world. This is like our kingdom. Like, we bought some acreage, and this is all we can deal with. But things can still come onto our land, and they come from the edges of the world. So it's kind of cheaty, and some people think it's a little, cowardly. But I like to remove or block off the outside edge of where I'm going to put my kingdom, because I like to dig in, and I don't like to deal with enemies that I'm not prepared for. I've had situations where I had a guy ready to fight, and I didn't build walls, because I figured, he's going to fight people for it. I don't need to, do that. The trouble is, he was sleeping. He slept on the job, and everyone got murdered because of him. Now we need to worry about chopping some trees. So our diggers will dig out that, remove the floor, and they'll basically create it so that they can't actually spawn there. We're going to chop a lot of these trees down. Let's go to there. And then we got to get rid of those. Now I'm going after these. These are birch trees, by the way, and these are pine trees. That will make a difference later on. These are orange trees. That's why they got little orange thingies hanging on them. And we have some, where are they? I saw them. Apple trees. So the difference between them, though, is you can cut any tree down, but I like to do this. I like to cut clippings from these for 2 or more reasons. Do this real quick. One reason, it gets rid of all the plant life, so it's like a twig basically. And then you can cut the tree down and you get the wood. But you can take the twigs, or clippings they're called, and use those clippings to plant the trees elsewhere. Or you can keep clipping a tree, it'll regrow the clippings, and then you can redo it over and over again as they regrow to grow more trees. So say we started with like one apple tree. We could do that over and over again as many times as we wanted until we had a whole orchard of apple trees. It's pretty cool. But I'm also doing it because I want the fruit, and if I cut down the tree, I won't get the fruit. So I'm a little paranoid that way. Maybe paranoid's not the right word. What is that? I'm a little weird, and that I don't want to waste the fruit on those trees. I know I have food, but my mind, it won't let me. Okay, also we have to prioritize a pasture. I got it in fast forward mode just because it speeds things up. We're gonna put it over probably around here. Nice big open space. Oh, those plants are in the way. Let's just put it there for now. And then we can designate for the yaks. So each animal takes 12 spaces, but there's 60 squares there, so that allows us to hold 5 animals. So as the more animals we get, we're gonna have bigger ones. But the neat thing about this is that they won't leave this area. They will actually stay there, so we don't have to fence it in and then move the fencing later. The only reason animals will leave a fence is A, if they're being pulled there by a gnome like so, or B, there's no food in their trough and they have to go get their food. And then C, C is like, say you have a bunch of animals in there and you changed it so you don't want just all males in there, you want females too, but there's not enough space, so you have to kick one of the males out, then he'll just start wandering off. It's pretty neat how they do it, but yeah, there we go. So now this guy is just sitting around, so we gotta change them so that they're more useful at this beginning. Right now is crunch time. We have to get resources, we have to establish a home, and then we have to get it defendable before enemies attack. We have 20 days. I think it's 20 days for a season, but I don't want to be the last second worrying about this. So here's our jobs. Here's all the people we can have, you know, jobs for and what they do. So we go down to rancher. And basically we can pick and choose. There's so many stuff in here. You can make like custom jobs too. So you can pick and choose what you want. So he does leather working. He does ranching, which is animal husbandry, which is taking care of animals. Feed and moving them. Butchery, where he kills animals for their meat. And then agriculture, all he does is cooking. And then miscellaneous, everyone has it, hauling. Well, he's nothing to do, so we're going to put him as farming, because the next task we want is to start a farm. Which, I'm going to put a lot of animals here. I'm going to clear these trees out. So you got all this stuff over here. Let's go to farms, and let's put it right about here. Get our farmers going. So let's go 4x12, 48 tiles. Perfect. We got strawberry seeds and wheat seeds already, but we want to get the wheat going because it takes some time to grow, like quite a few days, not just 1 or 2 nights, you know, not like Minecraft. Everything's a little more extended as far as growth, like trees and that will take a little bit longer. Okay, so as you can see here, they've already picked those. We got that all taken care of. This fruit, I'll take care of that in a minute. It's so much to talk about. I'm sorry there's going to be a lot of chatting, but there's so much to take care of right now. Okay, so that's all taken care of. We got them to there. Let's go back to digging. Figure out where we want to go next. So remove floors. Oh, we got to chop those trees. So let's start from right there. So they're going to... Oh, perfect. We just dodged that. Okay, let's go... Let's go right between those trees to about right there, and then we can come right down here, and then come to right here, and then we'll have to figure out what we're going to do with this hill. Okay, this is a little guideline for what they're going to do. Oh, the junk. So yeah, we started out with stuff, and it's in containers. Certain containers will only hold certain things. There's crates, barrels and then bags. Bags are mainly for like plants, plant fibers and plant stuff. Barrels are for only liquids, and crates are for pretty much anything else. So there we go. They got them digging that. They got them chopping trees. I already got those chopped trees. Let's go chop some more trees then. Gotta keep them busy. They get lazy, and then they get tired, and these guys are going to start crashing pretty soon. And so here it is. It is nighttime. Luckily, they have lights. I don't know where they put them, but they glow at night. Maybe they are radioactive. From previous, wherever they lived before, there was little uranium in the ground, and so now they glow at night. I don't know. But that's their radius. So if there's anything out here wandering around, besides yaks, because we can already know they're there. Oh, you see them? No, see? He's only going over here just because the straw's over here. So I'm going to, first thing, I'm going to change that. Go back. Designate area. Now this is where a lot of stuff is. It's mainly for your agriculture, rooms, guard areas. That's more military later on. We'll get into that. But right now we want to do stockpiles. We just do a little square just like we did with the pastures. And we want this to do goods. Where is it? Plants. And then we want it to do straw. Straw comes as a byproduct from wheat. So we only have so much straw. You can use it for beds, but I don't like to at the beginning because I like to get more yaks going. They'll sleep on the floor for a while. It makes them, they have to sleep longer, but eventually we'll get some straw going. And then they can sleep in bundles and then eventually beds. So now you guys have no trees to chop. Okay, so let's move some of this wood then, shall we? Let's do this stockpile. And we'll just stick it over here for now. Nice big area. And we go to goods again. And then we go down to wood, and you can specify even more. So we can go to logs, and we can go birch logs, pine logs, orange wood logs, whatever we want. Right now we want all the logs though, just to get them out of the way. And they will do that now that they have nothing to do. Now we gotta figure out what we're gonna do with this though. I think I'm just gonna remove any ramps going down into this area. And that'll be it, to be honest. Except for we already dug this far. Oh, drats. Alright, I know. We'll just dig across. There we go. Remove the floor. Oh shoot, there's so much plants over here. Let's get rid of those. Agriculture. Let's just, let's go right along this line. Right there. We'll get rid of those, and then we'll get rid of the dirt. Let's remove floors. There we go. Okay. So much to do, so little time. So as you can see, we get notifications. Beldies fell asleep on the floor. Where are you, Beldies? Should be some guy with Z's coming off his head. Where are you? Are you over here? No, I don't know where he went. He's sleeping someplace. Another sign, he's thirsty, so he's gonna go get something to drink. There's yaks. Oh, I should mention this. Yaks are amazing. They produce milk over time, which you can use to drink, which you can also use to make cheese, which is used to make lots of stuff like omelets. You can make omelets in this game. They also, you can butcher them to get meat, and then you get leather, which you can use to make armor. They get bones, which you can use to make armor as well. We'll get into that later on, I said. Military stuff, well, that's later on. And you can get their skulls, and you can wear them as hats. Yes, it's pretty cool. But the main thing is milk. Because otherwise you guys need to drink stuff, and either you have to make beer or you can make wine. Sadly, they don't get drunk. That would be amazing to watch these guys go around and around. Just completely soused, you know. I would pay to see that. More people are falling asleep because they're getting tired. Basically, their tiredness comes from the more labor they do. Oh my goodness, everybody's falling asleep. Is there anyone awake right now? They all... Are you? You all fell asleep in the same spot. Oh my goodness, look at that. Basically, they sleep when they get tired. The one peoples that usually work the latest are miners. So, because they're the strongest, they can usually go a long time, unless they're mining just all day. Well, there's not much going to happen until these guys wake up. So I'm going to pause. We're going to let this go. I'm going to get some of this sorted out, and we can get going into the more fun stuff. And you won't have to listen to me talk for a while. So I'll be right back. And we are sealed in. It took a little bit. You have to watch these guys like they're children sometimes. I don't even know how they did it, but somebody dug. Well, actually, both my miners, or one miner and somebody else, they dug a hole right here, and it just happened to be there was nothing underneath, and so they were stuck in this little hole, and so I had to dig stairs and then dig a hole to get them out, and then I filled it in so it looked nice. But it's like how did you manage to dig the one spot where there's actually nothing underneath? Uh, but we're all walled in. This area I took care of just in case something spawned in there and I couldn't get out. I didn't want that, so they could get down there. They dug it and then they were able to get out. I'll leave that alone. If that's works, then I might be able to conquer this area as well. And you may be asking, well, wouldn't they just jump off this ledge there? No, they don't jump on this. The only way they could get that is if somebody smacked them and they knocked off that upper area and fell down here. Then we'd have issues. But we don't have to worry about that. So we're all walled in. We got our stuff moved in. We got our crates. This crate got all of our bandages and armor. We got like 2 pieces of armor. I cleared a little space. So we are ready to actually start doing something proper. Look, it took 4 days. Because everyone kept falling asleep. I had to wait for them to get back inside. Because they kept going over here to get food. Now, speaking of food. We are down to 31. And we have 98 drink. Drink I usually never have to worry about, but food you have to watch out for. In the beginning, it's not too bad because you can always pick fruit. But eventually, the better the food is, and the better the drink also, the less often they have to go back to eat more or drink more. So we'll get into that as we go. But first things first, we gotta start building stuff. So we dug out this little area. We're gonna make this little sleeping quarters to begin with and crafting area for now. As we progress, we'll get more advanced looking, and it's gonna look nice eventually. But look at this, got copper already, for sure right there. So we got stone. What is this stone? Bauxite. I think that's how it's pronounced. So in your first workbench, you actually need a log and a piece of stone. It's pretty simple. We go down here to build, and we go to workshops, and we want a crude workbench. It's about the only thing you can make. So basically, these are all your workbenches. They all have certain jobs they do. Very cool. Just you can prioritize all these as well. So a lot of these, we need a workbench, chair, and saw blades. Well, first thing first, you have to make those beginning parts using this. So you can use any logs. Right now we're just going to use pine, and then we only have the 1 stone. But you can designate that. Look at this. We can make it out orange wood. Why not? We're going to pick it up later anyways. Let's get fancy. I think we can only use the 2 because it's only the people that are lumberjacks can actually work these stations beginning with. And then once we get stone carvers, then the stone guys can actually carve stuff out of stone, which is pretty cool. So that's built. Easy peasy. Now we're going to need some planks, and we can make a workbench, but it's going to take 6 planks. We got chairs. It's going to take 4 planks. Chisel. 2 of any raw stone. So I'm going to have to dig more stone, it seems, but that's fine. But first things first, we gotta get planks going. Now this is a little tedious in the beginning because with this workstation it's pretty primitive and it takes a while. So for every log it makes 1 plank. I wish it was 2 planks. It's only 1 plank. So we need to make quite a few of those. So let's just get that going. Let's pause the game. I like to pause. I hate having things happen when I'm not watching. I swear they're like children. Okay, so we're gonna mine out this area. We're going to start right around our stairs and see what's outside here. But once you expose an area, as you can see, we get more. See? Now, ooh, yes. We're going to start mining this. Not only are we going to get the copper ore, but we'll get stone from it as well. If I hit F, it makes these invisible so you can see the floor a little bit easier. Now you see that guy that keeps popping in here? It's because they're picking up the ore, or the stone. So tell these guys to keep mining this ore because we will need quite a bit of copper. Let's expand this out a little bit more. But as you can see, they mine pretty quickly. Now, different ores though can take longer, especially when you get down to gems. There are gems in the game you can use to make jewelry. It's mostly for trade, which we'll get into a little bit later, but you have to build the essentials up, you know. You gotta start someplace. This guy is now crafting planks, so let's tell this guy to start crafting planks as well. And we can even get more advanced. This is why this game looks so simple. It's because of the graphics and the cheery music and how everything works. But you can get more. You can tell who you want to make those planks, which will be more important later on when you want them to make the best of the best. And we'll get onto that later. But right now we gotta start somewhere. So they're making planks. He's making planks all over the place. Now, is there anything we can get these guys to go do? I got them going with a cotton, even though we don't really need it, but it is important. Cotton. The biggest thing is in the beginning beds and stuff, and then eventually we'll need it for bandages. Bandages is the only way to stop your gnomes from bleeding to death if they get injured. I guess we could tell these guys to go forage for food while we're waiting. So let's do that. Let's do agriculture, forage. What do we want? Let's oh, probably get a strawberry field going too. Let's do that. Let's get rid of some of these cottons around here. Clean it up a little bit. We'll have them go plant those, and then we'll get food at the same time. Okay. Now I'll have them start a farm as well. So got a farm. What did we say? 4x12. Keep it symmetrical. And we want this to be strawberry. There we go. Now, while they're working on that, prioritizing things as well goes with farms. So we always want wheat done first. Otherwise they'll randomly do one of these because they're all the same priority. So we'll set that to 2. For emergency cases, I'll bump something up to 1, but right now I go as 2 is the highest. We'll bump this up to, we'll bump it up to 4. I usually need a little more cotton in the beginning than I do strawberries because I can get lots of fruit. So they're making planks. We click on this little pile, we can see they've only made 2 planks there, while this guy has been making more planks. So there we go, making some planks. Very nice. So eventually this guy will make a workbench. So let's see. We got enough planks? We'll let them go. Let's go watch them mine. I love work. I could watch it all day. Okay, unpause this. Train. Mine. Mine. Okay. Go into there. Go into there. Oh. Now, I guess we could talk about mining and stuff. Basically, I've mentioned how there's things underground. Usually they only spawn, it's like Minecraft, in the darkness. So eventually we will need torches, because as you can see when they're gone, this is all completely dark, because there's no sunlight down here. So as you go, you're going to have to go deeper, and we're going to have to do, you know, make some torches to make it lit up. Also for aesthetics, we'll put torches in everywhere. Oh, look at this vein, it just keeps going and going. I love it. I usually jump from, basically, you can make your very first plate armor and weapons out of copper, but I usually just jump right into bronze, because all you need is tin, and then you can get the same stuff, but better quality. So that's as far as that goes. See, that should be enough stone. Get these going a little bit farther. And then let's make this guy do a workbench. So let's do a pine workbench. Craft that, and let's move that up next, and then we're going to need a chair, so let's do pine. You don't really need to do that, but I just do that out of habit, picking which ones we're going to need. And then we're going to need a chisel, at least 2 of those. Let's move those up next. So he can make those while they're doing that. Boom. Whew. So, the reason with the list also is that, say they're working on the workbench, but they ran out of pine for it, planks, then they will go down to the next thing and start building that. So it's pretty cool that they actually figure, well, I can't do this now, so let's do this. And say they do have the resources to make the pine planks, then they'll go and get pine from a different place and make the planks and then finish completing the job. They're very smart. They're very smart gnomes. I think this guy has a monocle. That or he got a pipe. I can't tell yet. I think it's a monocle. He's pretty dapper. There you go. That person's sleeping on the floor. I can make straw beds, but right now the straw is being eaten up by these guys. Actually, I think we have enough to make 2 beds. So let's go build furniture. And let's make just 3 straw beds, probably. Oh shoot, I have to designate an area first. Designate. Designate. Room, and we want dormitory. And we're just going to put it right here where this guy's already sleeping. Sounds like a plan. Found that corner quite comfy, so we'll make the beds there. And then build again. Furniture. There's so much stuff we can make. It's cool. Oop, there goes our timer. Let's just pause it for now. really quickly. Straw beds. Yeah, sweet. There we go. So as they go, these guys will get tired. They'll sleep on those priority. If there's no beds, they'll sleep on the floor. That's fine. I imagine now that we're less busy, we'll have less people sleeping on the floor, so they can rotate the beds. But 3 straw beds is probably enough to keep these guys fed and let these guys actually sleep someplace. And look, they already got them done. Huzzah! Let's go real quick and make our first workbench, which will be... what is it? Stonemason? I can't remember. Stonemason. Yes. Stonemason. And bam. So they'll take those parts that we just built, and the builder will come along, and they'll place them down here, see? And build it. And now we can get into the better stuff using our miners. And we can make actual doors. We can make stone tables. We can make stone things. We have to use less planks in the beginning. That's what I usually do. And we're mainly going to get a saw blade. So we can get a sawmill, and they can make planks much quicker and easier on that. So I'm going to leave that there. I hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry for all the talking. It's just a lot to intake at the beginning. But this is going to be getting so much funner as we go, and we get better and better stuff. So I will see you guys next time.